In fact, riveting. There aren't any tricks. They're straightforward, with main characters on journeys and endings that are, every time, mind-blowing and so goddamned smart. I expect you'll love this book as much as I do. And if you're holding it in a bookstore, boo. Also, buy this book. Wishing you well from the places where monsters live. Sarah Langan.
Core. Annie, my wife, started the Halloween walk when our son was 3. We were renting a house on a quiet street. She learned that several of the kids in his preschool didn't go trick-or-treating because their neighborhoods weren't safe enough for their parents to take them out in. "We could do something here," she said to me. "We could make a haunted walk for the kids behind the house." I agreed. Every kid should experience Halloween, right? Together we set up a course for the kids that took them through the passage between the house and its garage, up the hill behind the garage, and along the terrace cut into the hill. We strung the cottony spider webs we'd bought at Walmart around the back passage, then populated them with our son's collection of rubber spiders. For a finishing touch, we hung his enormous tarantula puppet in the center of the alley and told the kids they had to duck under it. We filled yellow dish gloves with bubble wrap, dabbed streaks of red paint along the fingers, and jammed them into the wire fence that extended beyond the end of the garage. The paint dried pink, but the effect was more surreal than ludicrous. "Don't get caught by the hands of the dead," we said to the kids. At the end of the terrace, on a white plastic chair, we sat the dummy we'd made from filling an old pair of my jeans and one of my old shirts with straw and tying the ends of the arms and legs closed. I had fashioned its head by turning a gallon milk jug upside down and painting a green-skinned face on it. I'd given it large, baleful eyes. Annie placed half a watermelon that had slid past ripeness on the ground in front of the dummy and jammed a dozen keys she'd bought at the dollar store into the liquescent fruit. This, we told the kids, was Frankenstein's monster. He was asleep, but might wake at any moment. His old, used-up brain was lying at his feet. Each of the kids had to poke around in his rotten gray matter until they found a key, which they had to extract without disturbing him. Once everyone had a key, they had to run as fast as they could to the front of the house. There, Annie was waiting on the porch in an old-fashioned witch's costume. Although the pointed hat was bright orange, its brim composed of netting. Each kid presented their key, which she inspected, then instructed them to drop into the plastic kettle before her. In exchange, the child received a brown paper lunch bag decorated with spiders and skulls and full of candy. After the last bag had been distributed, we escorted the kids up and down our street where the trick-or-treating was plentiful and safe. So big a hit was our first Halloween walk that it became an instant tradition. A few years later, when we left the rental house to move on to one we'd bought, there was a single question on the lips of our son's friends. "Are you still going to have Halloween in your new house?" "Of course," we said. While smaller than our previous place, this house had a large, dry, mostly empty basement. It was, Annie declared, the perfect place for the walk. Once the sun had slid from the sky, I gathered our son and his friends at the back of the house, where the ground sloped steeply down, exposing the northeast corner of the basement and the door set there. Addressing the kids in the big, over-the-top voice of a circus ringmaster, I described what lay in store for them within. One year it was, "Dr. Frankenstein's laboratory." Another it was, "The holes in which Dr. Moreau kept his worst experiments confined." A third time it was the caverns under Count Dracula's supposedly abandoned castle. As with that first walk, each journey presented a goal for the kids to accomplish. They had to steal the batteries Dr. Frankenstein intended to power his next monstrous creation. They had to rescue the stuffed animals slated for Dr. Moreau's forthcoming round of vivisection. They had to locate and retrieve the magic rings that would permit Dracula to be resurrected. Flashlight in hand, I led them counterclockwise around the basement, directing the light at mason jars stuffed with rubber eyeballs, at buckets brimming with plastic snakes, at cryptic graffiti on the cement walls. Our destination was always the same: the small room off the southeast corner of the basement. When the real estate agent had shown us the house, she had described the space as a sauna. There was an improvised